Okay, welcome to this episode of the Hillbilly Trader. What I have to explain is mildly complicated. It deals with beta-weighted portfolios and the way that the markets ran right now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm packing basically two large positions in my portfolio that concern me. Silver, which I want to hold, and a hedge against silver, which is the financials. This is a short against the financials. Right now, silver is negatively correlated to the financials by 70%. So we can actually use the financials to hedge silver. So we have to talk about something. Let's get our original trades on here. So we're going to grab the original ones we did and the date we did them. On 6/22, we took a trade on SKF. So we're going to grab this and we're going to go in. We'll make this a little bit thicker. And we're just going to show 6/22. Okay. And we didn't get the 22 on here. It's not 5, 6/22. Now these are all up on the website. Thanks to Chris. Now, if we pull this up, hopefully you can see this. I can't see it, so I got to thicken it up. I got to make it a little bit bolder. We'll go to 12 font. So let's put number one. This is our first trade. This first trade is called a risk reversal, risk REV. Okay, if you want to look it up online any place, it's called a risk reversal. Okay, now here's our original trade. We put this on. Now, in a risk reversal, you're at risk the puts that you sold. Okay, so let's grab this position. We're going to analyze a duplicate trade. Oh, we got too many trades in here. Let's analyze, go to monitor, right click, analyze a duplicate trade. Now this is what Thinkorswim's good at, is analyzing this. Their charts suck, but they're good at this part. They should really go take some lessons from Tom Joseph about how to do this. Okay, so what we have is we've sold 3 puts and bought 6 calls. Now, if it goes up. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we go in and we grab to see what's happened the next day. Now, the next day, we actually went to an inverted butterfly. And this was on 6/23. 6/23, we were able to lock in an $1,100 win. Now, this is where it gets really confusing to a novice trader what I'm trying to do and why I'm taking some of these trades. Right here on that very next day, trade 2, we went to an inverted butterfly. Okay. And what this means is essentially we have $1,200 that we could have left it alone and been just content with that. But that would not hedge my silver position because it's locked in. It's locked in at a specific rate, and I would be in trouble. So here, meaning it's close-ended. It's what by a specific rate. It's close-ended risk graph. Let's pull this over so we can see it just a little bit more. Made it a little bit big. So basically, we sold this inverted butterfly. Now, it may start to pull back. We don't know. If it runs up, great. We make $1,200 on it, but we wouldn't have been hedged. We're thinking it's going to drop back. That's why we went to the inverted butterfly. Now, as it starts to drop back, in charting, we're thinking, oh, this has gone up quite a bit, and it came right into this downtrend line, right into here. And we're like, okay, it's going to drop back down. And it had made a nice little run. It just popped up. So let's take a chance, get into our inverted butterfly. Why would that be a chance? Because it won't help my silver position, and it won't protect me. So let's go to our third trade. Our third trade is really this. This is where we buy back some of the options that we've done. So this is called harvesting profit. We're taking profit out of the inverted butterfly. Okay? So we're going to take profit out of this inverted butterfly, and we need to see the day that we did this. Okay, we did this on 6/27. So a few days later, it had dropped down and we had some profit on it on 627. Okay, now on 627 we take some quick profit on that. Now it could jump right back up. It could jump, but we don't know where it's going to turn. We think between this trend line. See this trend line that's coming up? We shorted against the trend line coming down. We got another trend line coming up. So we're thinking, it could go down to that trend line. It could go back up. We're not sure. But so we opened it up a little bit because we want to hedge our silver position. Now, as it starts to drop, there was actually two of these. I didn't mean to grab that symbol. There was two trades done right here. It did not fill that position. Okay, so let's apply this. It didn't fill it all at once. Let's move that and we'll get those off there. Let's delete those. Okay, it didn't fill them all at once, but we sold those, bought those back. All right, we're just buying those back, closing part of the position. Okay, now let's double check, make sure I've got the right days on here. That one was 1-3 for a total of 3, correct. Okay, so if we go to 630 now, we're peeling off the other part of our inverted butterfly. Now this is at 630. Okay, 630. We left this part on for a reason, and at 630 it broke the trend line, and that trend line, let's actually bring it. At 630 right in here, we are buying it back because it could just bounce. And I believe we got out right at the open, pretty close. It dropped down at 630 and said, hey, let's adjust this. Let's make this adjustment. Okay. So let's go check this out. All right. Now, this is where in my style of trading I excel in some of this. This is where you're getting 630 on 630. We buy that back. Now I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's not going to drop anymore. So I'm harvesting profit because the probability of it running back up, I want my long calls. So I take my profit off of it. Now on 7-1, it dropped even more. Okay, so let's go to 7-1. It dropped more than expected, which is normal. Like, what's that famous bologna sandwich guy? That I'm not so fond of. You guys know who he is, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, I should put him on my hillbilly list. He made all his money selling short the dollar. Great American. Lovely man. Sold short the dollar and everybody thinks he's cool. Yeah, he might be a great investor, but he sold us down the road and then decided that he wanted to go and buy mobile home manufacturers because that's all people could afford. All right, so right here we go back to our puts. So if we look at this on this day, we're going into our analyze, and let's grab this. This is our first trade, open-ended risk graph. Second trade, analyze duplicate trade, close-ended risk graph with a maximum gain of $1,000. You're like, woohoo! That's not the purpose of it though. We have to be careful. We need to make sure we've hedged things. We thought it would drop back because it's coming back into a trend line. As it drops back, we harvest it. Now this is what we wanted. $700 gain, open-ended risk graph. Okay. Now the third adjustment that we make, let's go right here, analyze duplicate trade. This is where we got the other one off. This was done on the same day. So actually we have $200 in risk and open-ended risk graph. That's not bad, $200 in risk. Now we're going to analyze a duplicate trade. Okay, now you're looking at this one, a $600 risk, open-ended risk graph. That's what we want, the open-ended risk graph for the rally back. We're trying to accomplish that. Right here, analyze duplicate trade. We go back to our original trade, open-ended risk graph. We've got those, great. We've got our open-ended risk graph. Now, we're going to go to analyze our duplicate trade. Right now, this is where we're at, a $600 loss. Now, the next adjustment that we'll think about doing is the possibility of selling 3 of these maybe, but it won't hedge me as good. I own the $65 calls, but I could sell 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, And if I make that adjustment, I will have $124 in risk and an open-ended risk graph. Now, my idea is to protect the silver the whole time and harvest profit. So we're harvesting profit every time we go along. Every one of those trades were winners that we took, and it harvested the profit on it. Now, the very last trade that we took was today. Okay, that one I believe was, well, I don't know if we have the first on here. 7-1. Let's see if that's 7-1. Yeah, we already got the first on there. So let's go today. Today, it starts to rally back because we broke the trend line. We retraced farther than we thought. And this is like a beer mug. It's upside down. It's an upside down cup and handle. So I have to be careful. My risk is on my put side. It's on my put side because I have naked puts. Let's quickly take the profit on the naked puts today because this was scary. It dropped down, 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 down. Let's get out of our naked puts in profit, mind you, in profit. Let's come back in here and let's take this trade. Now, all this was, the reason it's hard to follow, it's multiple trades over weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, why would I fiddle with a trade that actually would have gotten me $1,200 to start with? I have to try my very best to keep this as open-ended as possible to cover my silver. Now, the way that we do that is you come into monitor, because there's a 70% negative correlation to SKF and silver, meaning that silver rises, SKF drops. I can use these two to offset it. Now, the propensity for one of them to run, for example, my silver to take off down at a low end of the spectrum, that's what I want to do. I want to protect this loss with the gains that have happened over here. Now, today we're lucky. We've got silver and SKF going our way both. Now, that's called beta-weighted portfolios, and we now are sitting in what I would consider a sweet trade, an open-ended risk graph. Before, at our inverted butterfly, we had no win potential. If this thing runs back up to 66, let's take off the 3, the theoretical adjustment we're thinking about. If it runs back up to 65, that's $1,500. That's $1,600 right there that we could have. And it's open-ended to continue to go up. And we'll adjust it again. So if we run up, we have clear till the end of August. If we even get up in here to 65, which it easily could head up to, we'll start to sell calls against that. If it retraces, we'll buy the calls back and let them go up, and we'll continue to work the trade. We're going to keep hitching things on and off our long calls. Thanks.